Good morning, Facebook Live. Day 38, Hormone Bootcamp. So, I'll talk a bit about the experience that I am going through as I am helping my body produce hormones and how I'm going to be balancing out those hormones. So last night I did another one of the fat shakes. And so understand one thing about the fat shake. The main ingredient in the fat shake that I hope you guys are understanding is cholesterol. Cholesterol is the mother of all hormones. That's where all hormones essentially come from. I think of cholesterol as like the raw material. Like if you were to bring steel to a steel shop, then they can make you pretty much anything you want. That's how the body works. You give it cholesterol and it gives you pretty much any hormone that you want. Now, obviously, if you're going to be adding cholesterol into your diet, you have to make sure that your insulin levels, your cholesterol levels actually as well, that those are all taken care of. And that's why I had to go through this whole process of doing intermittent fasting, of doing Ayurvedic herbs, of mineralizing my body and all these other things. That's where all of that comes from, was to prepare for this moment, right? So once you take care of that, like that's basically where I'm at. I'm able to now uptake the nutrients of that shake. So here's what happened. And these are basically some of the things that I notice whenever I do this hormone shake, and how I'm able to, tell that my body's actually functioning better. A couple of things. Number one, I slept really good last night. Very, very deep sleep, which is possibly the most important thing when it comes to hormone production. You have to be able to get to that restful sleep. And what helps you go to sleep like that is hydration, number one, and detoxifying the body. So last night I had a wet dream, which I can't believe I just said that, but that's basically what happens when your body's actually producing sex hormones. And it's one thing to notice that, if, anyone that has fertility issues, that's usually what's going on. It's a hormone issue. And, and this is why, like, as you begin to understand your own body, you're able to see this on the outside world. I talk about food. There's, food has to be fertile. Good food is fertile food. Bad food is unfertile. And just like trees and plants, we become fertile and unfertile depending on how we feed our bodies. That's where mineralization comes in. That's where vitamin D comes in. That's where giving the body the actual nutrients that it needs. That's where it comes in. So, so that happened. I woke up around 1 a.m. or so, and I was, like I said, I got, that was not like, I guess, enough hours, but the quality of sleep was so good that I could have probably started my day at that time. Now I have a long day to go, so I didn't do that. But a couple things, I was noticing with that. Number one, body temperature. I notice anytime that I do this hormone shake, body temperature goes up. And again, it's something that, I mentioned to, help you prepare, because like for me, like I have a hard time falling asleep when I'm hot and, kind of start to get sweaty and stuff like that. And so I actually ended up doing some meditation, and I know I'll read your comments once I get to a stoplight. But so one of the things that I had to do last night, and it's actually a great thing that, if you're able to, take advantage of situations like these, is basically meditation. So I basically meditated myself to a sleep. But because I was having a hard time at first falling asleep, I had a lot of energy, and that's, one of the problems that you may run into is that you can start to get so much energy that you don't need nearly as much sleep. I know when I've done this stuff and I'm like really strict with my diet and go all in, and as far as like hormone production, kind of like what I'm doing right now, is that I can run on like 3 to 4 hours of sleep. And my body's I'm just buzzing with energy all day long. So those are just some of the things that, that I would, notice. And again, that to me is just telling me that, hey, my body's like functioning, like it's actually producing hormones. It's what it's supposed to be doing. I kind of feel like, I'm like a teenager, I guess, like in my 20s with like all of this energy. So I'm going to the gym again today and going to basically expend some of that energy. And that's basically what you have to do. And it's, I guess, one of the reasons why I like, doing or following this diet, I guess, is that I get to be active. And it's not only that I get to be active, it's almost like I have to be active because otherwise I just have so much energy that I don't know what to do with it, kind of thing. That's basically what begins to happen. Now, so there's a hormone production side, and now I'm basically going to be dealing with the balancing side. Like I said, you can produce too much, too much of one hormone. And, it's not going to happen like very easily. But it's kind of like working out. So, I'll do my shake that produces hormone. That's like working out. Now I need a rest, right? So I'll give myself at least a day or two before I do another one of those shakes. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing one tomorrow. Because I think like right now I'm at a good state where now I can just focus more on my Ayurvedic herbs. And again, Ayurvedic herbs help help balance everything in the body. Ayurvedic adaptogenic herbs. And this is where, if you follow the program and you understand what I meant with the timeline of the program, there's week 1, there's week 2, there's week 3, there's week 4, there's week 5, and then there's week 6. You can look at those weeks at phases and look at those phases as steps where you can go up the steps and then come back down the steps and then just play around somewhere in the middle. That's the maintenance mode. So I started out with mineralizing the body, boosting vitamin D, getting the nutrients in, and then I play right around the intermittent fasting Ayurvedic herbs. That's where I stay, right? That's where I play around. And then every time I need a boost of energy or a boost of hormone production, I go to week 6, but I don't stay there. I come right back. And so I'll be focusing on Ayurvedic herbs, which I will get from the green juice. Again, the green juice has ashwagandha, turmeric, and some of these other herbs that help balance the hormones, right? And if you go watch the videos, I basically talk about that. So now I can focus more on fasting. Now, fasting is a strategy. It's a diet. It's part of the diet. And some people hear that and they're like, how is fasting part of a diet? Like, you don't eat. Well, that's because when you are fasting, your body produces growth hormone. And so you need to be able to produce that hormone in order to fully balance all hormones. You cannot just produce one hormone and expect everything to be balanced. You have to produce all of the hormones that the balance needs and then regulate and balance whatever was, in excess. And usually what's in excess are bad things, cortisol levels, insulin, things like that. That's what you're looking to balance. So let me see here. Vitamin D. I'm not sure what that is referring to, but yes, vitamin D is very important. Vitamin D is a hormone, right? That's another reason why that's one of the first things that I have people do. And that's mostly because from my understanding and from talking to a lot of people, I just know that most people who have autoimmune issues are low in vitamin D. At least that's basically my experience with people who I've met and talked to. And it's sad because I remember when I went to the doctor and I asked about getting tested for vitamin D, she was kind of hesitant to do a blood test on vitamin D. And I asked her, like, well, it's important to me. And well, what she said was basically, it's like, well, that's not going to tell me anything, about the thyroid and this and that. And I just had to actually push to actually get this lab test done. And lo and behold, I was low. I was at 22 nanograms per deciliter. And at the time, I didn't even know that vitamin D was a hormone, but it is a hormone. And so if you're low in vitamin D, that's one hormone that is out of balance. That will throw everything else out of balance. That's how I think of all hormones. If one hormone is out of balance, whether it's low or too high, like too high of cortisol, too high of testosterone, too high of insulin, or too low, like low thyroid, low testosterone, low vitamin D. If one of those is off, then everything will be out of balance, right? And so that's why, I go through all of these cycles. Fasting and Ayurvedic herbs are basically my go-to strategies to balance out hormones and also to produce some of these other hormones. So this is basically the cycle that I go through. And this is me just kind of like navigating this little area of, producing hormones and just feeling my body, really experiencing like what the body is doing as it's getting all of these nutrients. And then, like I said, I'll do this shake and then I won't have to do this shake for, I don't know, months. Like usually like when I do this, I can go for months and I can feel good. I can just fast. I can, eat, primarily like raw foods and stay on a plant-based diet and then, just kind of like do my thing. So, but this is just a tool that I use. And so I hope that you guys are understanding like how everything works, how everything comes together. And maybe it gives you a hope for those of you who may have dropped out, that you understand that, hey, if you dropped out, you can always pick back up and understand that this is not a one-time thing. This is a tool. So anytime that you're feeling like, hey, your body's not functioning quite right, just go through this cycle. And now I space this out into 6 weeks to basically help people who are, basically brand new, have never done anything like this, enough time for them to see some of the results or effects of mineralizing the body, boosting vitamin D, getting enough nutrients. I basically did it for that. But once you go through this cycle once, you can do this without having to go through a full 6 weeks. You can just take a week and say, okay, you're already mineralizing, right? You're already hydrating all the time. Your vitamin D levels should already be high. Your nutrients should already be taken care of. The only thing that you can do now to focus on, producing more hormones is just fasting, Ayurvedic herbs, and getting cholesterol into your diet. That's it. So like from here on out, you'll see me, because I'm still going to continue in my journey. You'll see me doing other cleanses. You'll see me doing other things, as I go on my journey. And then every now and then I may do, throw in a week of hormone production, hormone balance, but I won't have to, do the full 6 weeks. I can just focus on, doing the shakes, just because I know that my body is primed and ready, for this phase. So that's how I want you guys to think of this. And so hopefully this has been, super helpful, and I'm still going to finish this until the end of this week, just to give you the full results. And that's pretty much it. So vitamin D needed for fertility. Yes, absolutely needed for fertility. It's funny because, a lot of people that are in either low testosterone or just having a hard time, trying to conceive, they'll go to doctors and they'll pay for this information. They'll pay doctors like thousands of dollars. And all they really need to do and understand is that their body just is lacking vitamin D and it's not producing hormones. So hopefully you guys, watching these videos, you guys will spread this information. So I appreciate everyone who's liking, commenting, and, sharing these videos. And that's it. So stay tuned for the rest of the week, and I don't know, we'll talk later. So thanks, Aina, for all the comments and all the likes. Talk to you guys later. All right, bye.